video is part of the Iron Orchid Designs Holiday Collection Release playlist. If you want to see other videos from the playlist, please click the link in the description below. Thank you for joining me. I am going to be using the new Hello Pumpkin Mold by IOD for their new holiday release. I'm going to start off with the retro stamp, and I'm going to put some resin in. It's very thin, but it gives me big letters because there's not really a mold that has big letters. So I'm going to go ahead and spell out the word autumn. And then I'm going to use a little injector, like a little needle thing. I ordered off Amazon, and I just filled it with my resin, and I'm going around and using this for my letters because I'm very sloppy when it comes to trying to get it in these little holes. Okay, so after I make all my letters and get them all out on the table, I spell out what I want to spell. I'm going to prime them first with just some primer, just because the resin can be a little slippery, and I want to make sure my paint adheres. Though I'm also considering keeping the words white, so that's the acrylic primer will help with that also. Okay, the letters autumn though, I want them to be fall, so I'm going to paint them orange. Okay, so now it's time to paint my pumpkins. I'm using a little bit of cream here, and I'm going to blend in some other colors because pumpkins don't tend to be just one color. I am using, this is like a light beige. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to use a little bit of white and a little bit of brown and blend it all together. Okay, so once I get the pumpkin the color that I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and use the nice fall green on the stem and the leaves. I'll be adding some more details to the leaves after this paint dries. Okay, so now for the next pumpkin. I already painted it green, but I wanted to lighten it a little bit, so I'm just adding a little bit of white, and I'm just putting it on here just to kind of lighten it a little bit. I want it to look like those cool pumpkins. I don't remember the name of the green one, but look at how cute that is. And then I'm going to go back with a little bit darker green, and I'm going to paint the leaves and the stem, and I'm going to dust on a little bit of brown and kind of blend that in so the greens aren't so close together in color. Now, look at this pumpkin. I painted this one earlier, not on the video, but I'm going back with some gold gilding, and look at that. It just makes it pop. So I'm going to add some more to the details, and look at it, just makes this pumpkin special. All right, so I'm going to take this same gold, and I'm going to apply it all over my leaves and stem, and it just gives a little bit more character, more detail, and I just love the way it looks because I always seem to put shimmer or gold gilding on everything I do. I'm not sure why, but I do love it. So I'm going to add the same gold shimmer to the pumpkin leaves from the Hello Pumpkin Mold. Now I'm going to go and take my autumn, and it needs something because it's too boring just being orange. I'm taking some brown wax paste or gilding wax, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just applying it haphazardly to the sides. It's just going to give it some character. It's going to make the letters stand out when I put it on the board. So next I need to lay out my design. So I have my autumn on there, and let's see, I'm going to put a pumpkin here, and then I have one more pumpkin. I'm going to throw it over here, and then I need to kind of decide how I'm going to put the small letters on. Because there is no capital G in the Harper mold, I'm going to go ahead and make one out of the air dry clay by myself. Okay, so I have the layout. This is basically what I want it to look like. This is before the G, but I love the way it's turning out. It's going to be gorgeous. Next, I'm going to take all my letters and pumpkins, and I'm just going to simply glue it on. You can use whatever kind of glue you want. This is just wood glue. And I'm going to do each letter one at a time. Now you can absolutely mark your straight lines across on how and where you want to put your letters, but I've got a pretty good eye, and for me it does not have to be perfect. If you are enjoying my video, please consider subscribing, and also don't forget to hit that bell. That way you'll be notified every time I post a new video. So this is what it looks like without any leaves. I really feel like I need some fall leaves because autumn is fall leaves. What I decided to do was use the He Loves Me mold, and I'm just going to make some leaves. Now, they're not really fall tree leaves, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my own. I am going to fill the mold, and then I'm just going to kind of manipulate it to where it looks more like an oak leaf rather than a flower leaf. So I'm going to go ahead and make a handful of leaves. I'm going to make the big leaves and then the small leaves. And then I'll be able to paint them and then add them to the project. So now I'm going to put them on the board and kind of decide where they're going to look best. I think they'll look better on each side of the pumpkins, but definitely on both sides of the board. So here is what it looks like, even with the G. Now that I made my own G, it's not perfect, but you know what? It does the trick. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to paint these in fall colors, but I don't need them to be super, super bright because it needs to tie in with my theme where it's the colors are more muted. So I'm going to start with the yellow, and then I go back and I'm going to add some orange, and then it's not enough for me. So I'm going to add just a little bit of red because, you know, if you've seen fall leaves, they are all different colors. They're not all just, well, some of them are, but not all of them are all just one color. So I'm going to paint all my leaves, and then I'm going to put them back down, and then I'm going to glue them where I want them. Before I glue them though, I'm going to use a little shimmer, of course. I have some in this green color, and when I put this on these leaves, it kind of tones down the brightness. But also leaves always, they start green anyway, so there's generally typically some green left on the leaves when they're turning or before they're falling. So I think this is a really good addition to these leaves to help tie in that green to the board. And then again, like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing them into place. I'm trying to glue them on in a way that looks like they're falling or falling together. So here is the final outcome of the breadboard. I absolutely adore this board. This one I'm going to have a hard time parting with. I just might have to keep it.